Good morning. I was sitting in my office one morning working away. I had some big things coming up and it was an opportunity to get ahead, to get organised for some of these bigger events. And I was going well. Things were happening. It was quiet, it was peaceful. And then the phone rang. Phone rang in the next office and I dreaded it. I thought, what's this going to be? At the very best, it would be an interruption in what I'm doing and thought processes. And at worst, I'll be taken out for half an hour or something. It was put through to me. It was I was a member of the congregation, a woman I knew. She shared with me a story of, I guess, desperation. Friends of hers, a family, were over at the hospital. Their small son was critically ill. It was life and death, and they didn't know whether he would survive. There were a whole battery of tests and other things being done, and the doctors were working overtime to try and identify what was wrong with him and take some steps to keep him alive. The family had people around, particularly this woman, but she thought they needed someone more, someone else, someone who could come in from the outside and just listen, to be with them, to offer care and prayer and whatever else might help. And she thought I would be ideal for this situation, that I would relate well to them. And as she's telling me the story, I'm feeling my levels of anxiety rise. I'm thinking of all the people who could do this well, better than me. Why me? I don't know what to say or do. I don't have experience in this. I'm not a chaplain. I'm not, And even as I'm thinking that, I know that I'm going to say yes, because there's no way I can say no. And so when she says, will you come over? I said, yeah, of course. So we agreed to meet in half an hour's time. She'd meet me at the front of the hospital and take me up and introduce me to the family. For 15 minutes I rushed around in circles thinking, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? Are there any rituals or prayers or readings or whatever I can take? Is there something I can take, a symbol or something that can, I guess, give me some control over the situation and restore some measure of control for them and for us. I ran in circles and couldn't find any answers. There was nothing I could take. And so finally I jumped into the car and off I went. And in the car my desperation and anxiety and fear and uncertainty turned to prayer. The only thing I could do was to pray and recognise my vulnerability, my helplessness, my powerlessness. There was nothing I could do to restore any sort of control or gain any control in my own right. All I could do was trust the life beyond life itself, the being beyond all being, the one who holds everything in grace and love, this one we know as God, as mystery, as wonder, as awe, as love. And the prayer wasn't, there were words, but it was more a letting go. A letting go of my own need to control or my sense that I could control. A letting go and a beginning to trust. Anyway, I went over and I met the woman and she took me up and we sat with the couple and their child in the bed. I was anxious and not sure what to say, as I have been on so many of these sorts of occasions. And I realised very quickly there was nothing I could say and nothing I needed to say. Any words that I had to offer didn't really matter. What they wanted and what they needed was someone to be present with them and to them in this space, to listen to them and hold their pain and their struggle and their questions and their fear in gentle love. What they needed was me to just listen and to share this experience, this pain. And as they shared their story, as it poured out and the tears poured out, all I could do was listen. All I could do was hold this precious story, this sacred moment, and know that in the presence, God was present. To be a channel of this love, of peace, all I could bring was my own experience and presence of the divine, of the sacred, of the holy, of that which exists beyond all existence and holds all of us. All I could do was be in that presence with them. And I think it's what they needed. I read the story from Luke's story of Jesus this week, where Jesus sends out 70 followers, disciples, into the towns and villages that he's going to visit on his journey down to Jerusalem. He sends them out to proclaim love and grace and healing and peace, to share peace, not just words and blessing as words, but peace as in presence. The peace that comes through knowing and being in the presence of life itself. Of being known, of being known and belonging and being loved. And to share that experience of the divine, of the sacred, of the holy, who holds us and loves us. And invite people into this way, into this experience, into this reality. And he says, go, and where you're welcomed, stay. Receive the hospitality. Eat what's put in front of you. Sleep where you're given a bed. If you're not welcomed, go out, wipe the dust off your shoes and go on to the next place. Just share this peace where it is received. And he gives them some other words. He says, now when you go, don't take with you an extra wallet and cash, or don't take extra clothes or food, or just go. Don't pack for the journey or what you think you'll need. Don't try and find the stuff you think you'll need. Just go. Don't worry about what to say, what to do. Allow the presence of spirit, vulnerability, to open you up to the flow of life and peace and hope and love. Just go and be who you are, and I will be with you. And they go, and they come back and they're amazed at the things that have happened, of the people who have been touched by love and transformed and healed, where there's life and new life, and they celebrate it. And I think that's what I experienced in going to the hospital, in being sent into a place that I was vulnerable. I couldn't take anything. I couldn't know what to say or do or think. I just had to go and to be and to trust that God was there, that love was there, that presence and being and sacredness and holiness was there. And if I would just go and trust, God would be present. And that's all that was needed. I read a line, well I heard a line recently, Dr. James Finley, a psychologist who studied, who had spiritual direction under the great spiritual director and prophet and contemplative mystic, I guess, of the 20th century Catholic Church, Thomas Merton. And James Finley says, we're afraid of losing the control we think we have over the life we think we're living. We're afraid of losing the control we think we have over the life we think we're living. And I've wrestled with that phrase, that line, for a few months now. And recognised that so often I try and regain control of the situation. The control that I think I have or have to have, that will control the life I think I'm meant to be living and being and doing. And when I do that, I'm so focused on the control, regaining control, or being in the life, or defining the life, or thinking about the life that I'm supposed to be doing, that I actually miss the moment. And I don't live the life that is there for me. If I spend so much time going to the hospital thinking about what I'm going to say, gaining control over the situation that I'm going to be in, of defining it, what's going to happen, writing the script, I was so busy in that moment listening to what I need to say or think, or trying to write the script, that I'll miss the moment. The sacred moment of presence when this couple reveal their deep pain and share their story. When I let go of this need to be in control, when I let go of the control I think I should have or do have, then the life that I have opens up before me. And it may be quite different from what I expect. But in the midst of it, God is present. Holiness and life is there. And it's richer than I can ever imagine. Different from what I ever imagined. When Jesus says, go into the world to this 70, take nothing with you. Trust me, trust Spirit, trust life. Go and live life with and before people. And share that life. And live in the moment. In the moment of blessing and of peace and of hope and of life and of all its richness and beauty. In its joy and its pain. In its deep sadness and deep hope. Live. And I will be with you, says God. Spirit is there. And you'll know me. And you'll know life in all its fullness. And there will be rejoicing. Because this is what life is about. Will you share this journey that Jesus invites us into? This journey into life and hope. This journey of spirit, of holiness, of wonder, of awe, of joy.